Good strategy, bad strategy. Let me say that again. Good strategy, bad strategy. Today, we're taking this concept, good strategy, bad strategy, and we're wielding it like a blade. We're stripping away all the soft, comforting words. This explainer asks one cold, hard question directly from Good Strategy, Bad Strategy by Richard P. Rummel. And that question is, what actually hurts, and what are you going to do about it? Listen, this isn't for people who lack dreams. Not at all. It's for people with way too many noble sentences. You see, Richard P. Rummel doesn't attack ambition. He attacks ambition when it hides from the wound. And that is exactly why we're digging into this today, to build the architecture of the self that can actually survive contact with hard choices.
Think about this quote for a second. Your proud habit of preserving options is not flexibility. Now, that feels pretty validating, right? We all love to think of ourselves as open-minded, as adaptable. But let's take a beat. It is threat refusing to name the wound. You feel that in your body, don't you? Your jaw kind of tightens, your calendar swells up, your mind starts moving faster simply because it cannot move deeper.
Let's look at basic biology. A cell absolutely does not heal by just praising its own vitality. No, it heals by finding the pathogen. Strategy begins the exact same way. You don't start out by hunting for a million different actions or writing up these grand, sweeping objectives. You start by identifying the constraint. Name the damage. Choose the cut.
The first real act of power is not more effort. It's finding the courage to stop flattering yourself and to look directly at the wound.
One paradigm completely worships motion. The other demands diagnosis. It requires you to actually stop moving, look closely, and plainly explain the pattern of waste.
So what is bad strategy, really? It's evasion. It's evasion wearing the costume of strategy. Bad strategy wants the crown, but it skips the incision. It confuses catchy slogans with deep thought. It confuses sheer, exhausting effort with actual force. It is literally just pain management dressed up as leadership.
What resists you? I want you to name your current challenge, right now, in your own mind. But do not use an aspiration. Don't tell me you need more discipline. Name the broken sleep rhythm. Name the debt loop. Name the toxic approval hunger. What is the actual obstacle?
We fall into this trap all the time. We believe that if we just include everything, if the plan gets richer and accommodates every single person's desires, then the choice will be painless. But there is a massive biological debt to keeping every option alive. Instead, you have to find the leverage point. It's kind of like a cook adding more and more spices to a burnt sauce just to hide the base instead of boiling off the steam to reveal the true flavor. Strategic necessity demands reduction.
A standard, run-of-the-mill plan asks, what should we do? A real strategy asks, what must be overcome? Because the real enemy in strategic thinking usually isn't your competition. It's not the market. It is the unspoken truth sitting right there inside the room.
Picture a surgeon just before the cut. It isn't heroic. It isn't loud. The light is cold, the gloves are clean, and there is a dark ink line marking the exact margin around a tumor. That inked margin isn't the cure. It is the moral boundary of the strategic work. Without that line, the surgeon's hand becomes dangerous. They might cut healthy tissue, or worse, leave the diseased tissue behind. Diagnosis is that inked margin.
Think of an ancient army arriving at a mountain pass. They do not need a beautiful mural painting a picture of victory. They need to know the pass. They need to know the unspoken truths of the terrain, the single points of failure, the exact width of the gap. Courage without that diagnosis just becomes an injury.
So I'll ask you, what sentence are you using right now to avoid the hard truth? Is it, well, I'm just exploring? Or maybe, I'm just building momentum? Maybe every one of those statements is partly true.
Bad strategy comforts your identity. Good strategy threatens your identity. Failure to choose doesn't just sit there staying neutral. It grows teeth. Every open option that you refuse to close demands protection. And by feeding every possible future, you are actively starving your present moment.
This brings us to Rummel's one-page kernel. It's absolutely crucial. Step 1, diagnosis, identifying the plain speech constraint. Step 2, guiding policy, establishing a hard rule for the cut. Step 3, coherent action, ensuring every single move presses the exact same nerve. You need to physically build this structure before you even open your inbox on Monday morning.
Let's look at some stark examples of what a guiding policy actually sounds like in the real world. We will win through speed. We will serve one segment first. We will repair sleep before output. We will cut features until trust returns. These are rules. If your actions after this scatter, your policy is false. And hey, if your initial diagnosis flatters you, you've got to start all over again.
Cohere. In music, harmony is never achieved by simply playing more notes. Harmony is governed relation. Strategy is exactly the same. It's not scattered busyness. It is pressure moving powerfully through one specific shape.
Ground this kernel in a weekly private discipline. Day 1, you name the obstacle. Day 3, you apply your guiding policy. Day 5, you test it through a coherent action. Every single week, one diagnosis is tested by one action. If it exposes resistance, the diagnosis improves. It's that simple.
Let's just address the deeper issue here. Your problem really isn't a lack of capacity. The deeper problem is refusal. It is the refusal to diagnose. It's the refusal to disappoint a false future. It's the refusal to let a vague self-image die just because you are holding on to way too many possibilities.
I want to challenge you directly right now. Make your questions surgical, not inspirational. Ask yourself, what obstacle explains the pattern? What rule will guide the cut? What actions will prove the rule? I am literally asking you to name the wound, define the policy, and execute the aligned act.
Continue the internal transformation at upgowise.com. Use this as a private audit. Find exactly where you are praising your own ambition, just to hide from a clean diagnosis.
The strongest strategy feels like a loss at first. Because it is. You lose fantasy, you lose the comfort of excess, and most importantly, you lose the right to be vague.
Choice is where courage becomes visible.